My name is Vishal Maria, and I'm the CEO and founder here at Quantexa. It's a huge privilege to welcome Joe Sikowski, who is the CIO of Engineering and Architecture at BNY Mellon. Welcome, Joe.
It's a pleasure to be here, Vish.
Joe, before we go through some of the questions, it will be great for the audience to just learn a bit more about yourself as well as BNY Mellon. Would you like to just give a kick-off, a bit of an introduction to you and the bank more generally, please?
Yeah, so, my name's Joe Sikowski. I head architecture and engineering for the bank. The bank was founded by Alexander Hamilton over 200 years ago. We're the bank of financial service institutions, corporations, governments, and high net worth individuals. Just to give you an idea of scale, we have 2.4 trillion in assets under management, another 46 trillion in assets under custody, and over 300 billion in private wealth. We have over 15,000 technologists and developers providing critical technology to support the bank's role servicing our clients in global financial markets. We do whatever it takes to engineer the best solutions for our clients. We innovate in-house and partner where it makes sense, fintech, startups, established players, and frankly, Quantexa is an example where BNY Mellon is both a customer and a strategic investor.
Thanks for that, Joe, and thanks again for the detail. Joe, there's probably not one topic that an organization will have any transformation with if it doesn't mention things such as machine learning, AI, or data science. Joe, in your general view, how important, how relevant is machine learning, AI, and data science across the enterprise, specifically looking at your experience there at BNY Mellon?
Well, Vish, I truly believe that ML, AI, and data science will transform the enterprise. In my point of view, regardless of industry, effective firms will be deriving insights from data and driving actionable strategies to provide value for their customers and stakeholders. The thing you have to remember, though, is AI and ML are not magic. At their core, it's sophisticated and complex math on data. You need to be able to understand purpose and outcome, establish the right due diligence, peer review, and processes to test your algos to ensure effectiveness. At the end of the day, your results need to be explainable and free of bias. We're actually using Quantexa for entity resolution, and this is helping us understand our customer better.
Fantastic, Joe. And again, it's been a true privilege being partners with yourself and the wider team at Bank of New York. And I totally agree that there is no magic bullet to conquer this. And as you mentioned, having that context when it comes down to then apply the machine learning and AI is pretty fundamental in business decision making as we look into things around revenue generation, prospecting, knowing your customer, as well as managing financial controls. Joe, just moving on to the second question. In your view, how are financial services organizations using technology, specifically around sort of entity resolution or when it comes down to things around machine learning, to optimize their organizations and leverage data for good? As we've seen, as we've come out the pandemic and the uncertainty in the world today, in what I'm hearing from other clients, this becomes more and more important when it comes down to tackling such controls. But how do you see financial services using tech, and more important, using tech for good?
Well, Vish, it's really an interesting time to be in finance right now. We are at the crossroads where technology is driving the business forward as a strategic partner, and its impact is more far-reaching than ever before. The pandemic has truly reinforced the power and influence that tech advancements have on many industries, and they're shaping the path forward for financial services. A big top of mind thought for me is this: if we aren't on the leading edge and staying a step ahead of our competition, we won't deliver in a way we need to for our clients. BNY Mellon continues to heavily invest in AI and machine learning. We are very focused on using predictive analytics, monitoring capabilities to help anticipate our customers' needs, improve product performance, and become more efficient. AI and machine learning are really changing the game for all of us, and we're reinventing our business and the sector to deliver the best client and employee experience possible.
Oh, great, Joe, and it's great to hear. I mean, through the partnership with BNYM, I've been outstanding to see the focus, the resilient focus that the organization has when it comes down to putting clients first. Your focus around client centricity is critical. And we see it through our partnership, throughout the journey we've been with you and the team at Bank of New York. But Joe, when it comes down to adopting machine learning, adopting decision intelligence, adopting a much more robust data first, customer first strategy, there are a number of challenges. In your experience, what are some of these key challenges within the bank? And more importantly, how is the market and the regulatory landscape sometimes influential but could also be quite cumbersome when it comes down to taking new innovation and prioritizing data and analytics? What's some of your views here, Joe?
Well, I view the world in terms of opportunities instead of challenges. And, the reality is BNY Mellon is in a unique position in the market to give customers insights no one else can. Historically, it was about whoever got the data first won. Today, it's about whoever understands the data first wins. The idea is to deliver sustainable and comprehensive data insights driving actionable strategy. The dynamic nature of the world requires us to respond quickly, accurately, and explainably. We actually need to be able to observe, orient, decide, and act faster than our competitors. And I really must admit, it's really an exciting time to be at BNY Mellon and working with companies like Quantexa as we're charting the course and paving the future for our organizations.
I love that, Joe. Observe, orient, decide, and act. Incredibly definitive. And you mentioned earlier being able to explain that machine learning and AI, again, in a regulated market which you work in and your organization works in, that explainability when it comes down to risk management, model risk management, etc., is even more fundamental today than it's ever been. So having that transparency and that explainability is pretty fundamental. And it's great to hear how it's an exciting time to be in financial services. Because I do agree, sir. If I look at some of my other clients, as well as the partnership we have here with Bank of New York, that drive and that view when it comes down to that explainability is something I know you guys take very dearly to heart. And it's fantastic to see that. Joe, just moving on to my next question. Again, in your view, what do you think the financial services need to do to better enable further technical and sometimes more importantly, cultural transformation in the industry?
Vish, it's interesting you ask because about culture, because, the only constant in life is change. In our view, we always want to pair artificial intelligence with human intelligence. As an example, Quantexa's contextual-driven platform lets us do this, right? It helps humans sift through the chaff and lets humans focus on the critical risk and business decisions. And this is what we want with all our AI and machine learning platforms. We want to put smart people on tough, higher-level problems. It leads to better decisions and more informed choices. And it lets our experts spend time on what's important. Eliminates false positives. My team is tired of hearing me say this, but frankly, if you want to find needles in a haystack, you have to give your people magnets. And AI, ML, data science are those magnets.
Your point about context and that whole view about the platform, I totally agree with your statement, which is the combination of the machine and the human. And as I see the industry move forward, and as I see the next transformation kick off for many of our clients, bringing the best of the machine as close to the human so that you can drive better controls, better change, better service, and provide much more of a real-time, a much more personable experience becomes even more important in a competitive market we all work in today. So I totally agree with you, Joe. Bringing that human, bringing that machine, and combining the intelligence, and then allowing the human to focus and concentrate on the hard problems, and allowing the machine to take care of those false positives, the data views, and so on, so that the human can do the best they can, which is support in those decision making. I totally agree with you. Joe, data is core. Some people say data is the next oil. Now, in your organization, how core is data? How core is data to the transformation you're driving, your organization's driving? How core is data to that?
As you know, at BNY Mellon, we put our clients first. If they do well, we do well. And so we've developed a sophisticated architecture and data strategy to ensure we enable our clients to succeed. All products and services are built on information flow. Our enterprise data strategy is the foundational capability for leveraging these flows to drive holistic transparency across our products, relationships, geographies, and people. The hard-won vantage point is allowing us to use data science to highlight future opportunities, which in turn we can present back to our customers to help them increase revenue, reduce costs, and reduce risks. As you know, Vish, we launched a new data and analytics business based on client-centric data and introduced technology and content solutions to extend our addressable market with the products that treat data as an asset class. BNY Mellon is a proven track record in data management with over 20 years experience delivering data management via our Eagle product suite. Now we're taking all that hard-earned knowledge and delivering the next generation of solutions to the market. These are not simply our existing platforms running on cloud, but ground-up solutions that take full advantage of the benefits of cloud, empower our clients to manage data of all kinds, and use modern machine learning to help our clients manage data quality. Perhaps more exciting than their data platform is our ability to marry the data platform with the unique data that we have within BNY Mellon and create analytical toolkits and applications that we can bring to our clients and sell into their portfolio managers and heads of distribution. With DNA, we're extending the reach of our asset servicing franchise into the front office with data content and insights.
Joe, let me unpack some of that. So you guys launched the data and analytics business on client-centric data, which is fantastic. And with your pedigree and the firm's pedigree of over 20 years of experience in delivering data management via your product suites, it's fantastic to see how you've used the power of data to be competitive in the market. But as I've seen, Joe, through sort of the pandemic, as we entered the pandemic and hopefully now exiting the pandemic, being digitally resilient has been fundamental for the organization to remain digital first. And I just want you to share some of your views around this, and how has Bank of New York Mellon adopted technology to remain digital first as we exit out, hopefully, of this pandemic?
Vish, I'm glad you asked. Being digitally resilient has been fundamental for our success during the pandemic. During COVID, our investment in infrastructure and resiliency paid off, and we were able to transition more than 95% of our workforce home in less than 2 weeks. As the industry experienced challenges with unprecedented market volumes and volatility, we navigated those challenges without disruption. On the data side, we centralized and democratized access to data, governed access to data, and we made decision-making easier for our clients and enhanced their experiences with our solutions. Our holistic view helps us identify new opportunities for our clients across different products and channels. Our overarching technology credo is we want to adhere to open access. We want to make it as easy as possible for clients to interact with us. Essentially, we'll come to them.
That's fantastic, Joe. And I love the way you articulate about coming to them. And again, as I look across the industry, bringing the best of Bank of New York Mellon across everything and all the investments the team are making and bringing that to your clients, almost even self-serving to your clients, it can be a fantastic opportunity for customer experience for your clients today. So I totally agree. And coming back to moving 95% of your workforce remote in a couple of weeks, that's a fantastic achievement. And again, it really does come into consideration of the investments you guys have made over the last few years to ensure that you are putting your customer first in everything you do. Operationalizing data management across the enterprise are critical for other industry leaders that we speak to, Joe. But what is your vision for creating an intelligence enterprise that is digitally resilient by heart, but it's enough to react to the fast changing market conditions that we see today as well as tomorrow?
Right. I mean, Vish, what you're really asking is how are we innovating? And I got to tell you, our pace of innovation across the firm is increasing in several areas, such as digital assets, real-time payment, the future of collateral, and Pershing X, to name just a few. We are seeing these innovations driving the need for the latest technologies in the bank, and we continue to invest in our future and invest in technologies such as cloud, data science, i.e. AI, ML, cybersecurity, and decision intelligence. We are utilizing cloud-based business capabilities to accelerate digitization. We are taking full advantage of this and creating more resilient and improved experience for our customers. We are reimagining how we deliver capabilities to our customers by building API-based microservices. We use APIs that facilitate ease of access so that clients only have to connect once, not just to our platform, but to other platforms in the digital ecosystem, rather than forcing clients to onboard to multiple venues, or even worse, connect into a closed proprietary system. This year, we've experienced significant growth in clients onboarding APIs because of the convenience it offers. I guess the way I'd end, Vish, is we are going to continue to innovate, continue to put our clients first, continue to drive insights no one else can for them, and continue to be a leader in the industry.
Joe, I think you summarized that beautifully at the end. And look, Joe, I must say on behalf of Quantexa, it's been a huge privilege partnering with you and your team through this journey. And our support and the work we have done today, I'm looking forward to the blossoming relationship we have formed in supporting the bank's direction around putting customers first and being digitally resilient in the future. You touched on a few topics there around the innovation you're doing around AI, machine learning, cloud, cyber, as well as decision intelligence. But as we've always talked about, that data fabric that you have built and the contextual decisioning coming from that fabric really provides that competitive edge that you and your team have in the industry today to take new services and products and be customer first in the market. So again, thank you for your time today, Joe. It's been a huge privilege spending this afternoon with you, and I wish you and the team all the best at Bank of New York Mellon.
Well, Vish, thank you for having me, and I have to say it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you and your team as well.
Cheers, Joe. Take care.